Hey all you good looking people! So with the uptrend in people taking to the outdoors, I wanted to help make that transition into the wild as safe as possible by arming you, dear viewer, with some helpful information. While this by no means is a definitive guide, it is the best I can do at this point. But in saying that, do feel free to chime in the comments below if you have anything to add. Before we kick things off though, please like, subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. Let's get this lyrical adventure going. So, let's start with the first overarching topic of gear. Items you may need before you venture out into the wild blue yonder. Clothing. It's absolutely essential to have the right clothing for the environment you're heading into. Unfortunately, gym wear is not suitable for all environments, hence the need for specific outdoor wear. You don't want to become caught out in a situation where you're either too hot or too cold. Layering is usually the way to go so you can adjust accordingly to the changing conditions. Much like clothing, the appropriate footwear is essential. Believe it or not, your fancy all-white kicks may not be up to the task of traversing slippery wet moss or loose rock surfaces. Be it hiking boots or trail runners, make sure your footwear is up to the challenge of the environment you wish to take on. Water, electrolytes, storage and general hydration. I so often see people on walks with no water on them at all. And in the Aussie summer, this can go very quickly from a silly mistake to disastrous as dehydration causes a cascade of issues. In summer, I usually start the day with an electrolyte drink as my first drink, and then try and carry around 2 to 3 liters on me for a day hike. You can pick up electrolytes from your local chemist or supermarket where there are plenty of options. These birds are making it really hard to talk at the moment. In terms of storing your water, there are many options, such as the famous Nalgene water bottles, to water bladders, which you tuck in your backpack and access through a hose. If those are too expensive for you, you can always repurpose water bottles. Definitely carry water with you. Food. Always make sure to take some food with you. Hikes can be very physically demanding, so you want to have the energy levels to make it back home, right? Always pack some food with you. For day hikes, I tend to pack a lunch as well as snacks in case I get peckish along the way. Never leave home without food, people. Trust me. A first aid kit is something worth considering, especially if you intend to make hiking a more regular thing. Nature doesn't have any safety barriers like the man-made world, so you never know, you might cut yourself on something, you might twist something in a funny way. You don't want to be caught out and underprepared for such a situation. I also carry some anti-inflammatories on me, just in case I get a build-up of lactic acid on harder hikes and my quads sometimes seize up. Salt tablets also help. PLBs or personal locator beacons. If you intend to go hiking more regularly, especially by yourself and in more remote locations, a PLB is a good thing to have on you. Just in case you get into a pickly situation, it's good to know that help is only a button's press away. Plus, it'll bring your family and friends some peace of mind, so definitely do consider it. They are pricey, but if you think about the lifespan of them, it doesn't work out too bad, especially for your safety. So definitely consider getting one. GME is one I use, and I am definitely not sponsored by them, though if they want to, please hit me up. Sun protection. Sun protection is crucial as heat stroke can make an easy walk become very dangerous. A hat, long sleeve shirt, and some sunscreen can help mitigate the effects of the sun on you. So always slip, slop, slap, rat, people. A torch is a good thing to have in your bag, just in case you get caught out, getting too carried away, taking in the scenery, spending too long at a swimming hole, or taking in the wildlife. A phone is unreliable, especially towards the end of the day when the light is fading because the battery could run out, and you don't want to be stumbling around in the dark because you may end off the side of a cliff or something. Bring a torch along, especially if you plan to go out for a full day of hiking. A good backpack is a worthy investment, especially to carry all the above mentioned things in. You want something that can fit all of the items you need for a day and be comfortable enough not to distract from the beauty of nature itself. So go out, invest in a good bag, and it'll last you for ages. On to the second overarching topic: what knowledge should you arm yourself with before you head out on your first adventure? Researching the track you plan to go on is a brilliant idea. Google is your friend in this situation. There should be plenty of information online and what to expect in the forms of difficulty, length, as well as things you may want to do or see. Maybe even things to avoid, such as stingy vegetation or bitey critters that may inhabit the area. Wildlife. On the subject of wildlife, the real world is not like a Disney cartoon. Do not have any delusions of what nature is really like. View animals from a safe distance and do your best not to disturb them. Any attempts to get a selfie with them may lead to a claw to the face if you wish to test your luck. Please refer to the Instagram Nature is Metal if you wish to have your delusions about the wild animals dispelled. It can be gruesome, so leave animals alone. Weather. Always check the weather the day before you go, as it will help you decide what you need to pack for your adventure. Traversing dodgy terrain. This may sound silly, but you should practice traversing dodgy terrain either in your backyard or the local park. A slip out in nature may end up with you off a cliff. Not a great outcome. Get on all fours if you have to, or butt scoot, a technique I love to use. Although if the situation or the track looks far too dodgy, just avoid it. Nothing is worth losing your life over. Basic navigation. At the very least, you should have some ability to read a map, especially the simplified ones you often find on national park tracks at either the start or in the middle of the track. If you can't do that as a basic thing, I think you should avoid the outdoors until you develop that skill. Basic map reading is a minimum criteria. Inform family and friends on where you intend to go and what time you expect to be back. In case you don't return by a certain time and it's gone way too long, they know to send help for you. Always a good idea to let people know where you're going. Leave no trace. This isn't really a safety point, but is a fundamental tenet you should practice when interacting with nature. We love these places due to their natural, pristine beauty, so let's keep it that way. Do your best to leave no trace that you have been there. Do not litter, alter the environment in any way. This includes the so-called art of rock stacks. You can stack rocks. Whoopee. So with that very basic overview of safety in the outdoors, I hope I have made your first forays into the world of hiking and adventuring a little bit safer. Get out there and enjoy the rich bounties nature has to offer. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of nature, and it'll take care of you. See you on the next one, you good looking people.